One of the best things about huge blockbuster movies is their massive budget, allowing the producers and creators to make whatever they want come to life. The creations of the movie makers are only limited to the imaginations of the people in charge, so obviously there have been tons of super amazing things shown on our big screens. Something that never fails to impress moviegoers is cars. Some of the craziest, coolest cars have been dreamed up on movie sets, and today we are going to take a look into the very coolest movie concept cars ever seen on the big screen. Before we get started today, don't forget to leave a like down below on this video. You can also subscribe to our channel, which helps us out a lot and we really appreciate it. This keeps you up to date with all our latest brand new content, and if you turn on your notifications, then you can make sure that you don't miss out on any of our videos. So where do we begin? There are so many incredible movie concept cars to choose from, but for the first in this video, we've got to go with a classic. To kick off our video, let's talk about the Batmobile. The Batmobile is one of the most famous movie cars of all time. There are so many different versions of it that every comic book fan has a favorite. It can do pretty much anything that Bruce Wayne can imagine. Traditionally, the Batmobile had cartoonish comic book powers like spiked wheel trims, a flamethrower exhaust, and a huge net to capture criminals roaming the streets of Gotham. However, with the new DC movies that have come out, bringing to life a more gritty, dark version of Gotham City, the infamous Batmobile has been given a makeover. Looking like a sleek, futuristic sports car, or even a low-slung armored tank, the new versions of the Batmobile have tech fans practically salivating. The famous Tumbler version from the 2005 to 2012 trilogy The Dark Knight is definitely one of the most loved iterations. It is super practical for fighting baddies on the dark Gotham streets, and it looks like something that belongs in a military. It can reach incredibly high speeds and it can turn on a dime. It also boasts powerful weapons for a huge range of attacks. There are actually a few of these cars in the world for real. The studio made several real drivable versions, and they are exclusively owned by rich collectors and some of the film's creators. One of the most famous versions of the incredible comic book car is from the 1966 movie Batman the Movie, starring Adam West. Batman and Robin drove around Gotham in a Lincoln Futura, a concept car built and made in Italy specifically for the movie. It's quirky and definitely gives off that retro comic book vibe. It borders on camp and it looks very futuristic compared to the 1966 era in which the movie was filmed. It was full of very theatrical style weapons, including a giant magnet, a parachute, and even a bazooka. Audi RS8. The 2005 movie I, Robot was full of sleek, futuristic looking tech, but one of the most memorable pieces of machinery in that movie was the car. Driven by Will Smith's character, Detective Spooner, the Audi RS8 was designed to be incredibly minimalistic and streamlined, and it actually inspired the design of Audi's cars after the movie for real. The brand is now known for its minimal and effortless-looking design, and this style definitely fits well for the movie. The future that Detective Spooner is living in is not all good. Computers are running everything people do with their lives, and technology is ruled by the corrupt. The efficient design and computer interfaces fit hand in hand with what the movie wanted to achieve, serving as much as a set piece or prop as much as it is a method of transport for him in a narrative sense. It also made it easier for the driving sequences to be made using CGI, as the car already existed, and only the background needed to be added in. While none of these cars ever got made for the public to drive around in, like we said earlier, the concept has clearly been used in Audi's later designs. The low, sleek style is now iconic to Audi, and particularly the interior's clean and efficient presentation is recognizable to the brand straight away. Aston Martin DB10. Fans of cars most certainly have noticed that Aston Martin's famous DB series goes from 8, 9, 11. 10 is missing, and movie fans all know why. The incredibly well-received 2007 James Bond movie Spectre, featuring the infamous missing Aston Martin, the renowned English car company interrupted their esteemed DB series to make a car specifically and only for use in the James Bond universe, which is pretty unusual and even more incredible. The CEO of Aston Martin must definitely be a Bond fan. I wonder how they like their martinis. The Aston Martin DB10 was made in Q's secret underground lab and is later borrowed, stolen, by James Bond, after it was designed and purpose-built for Agent 009. If that wasn't enough mayhem, he took it out of the country and on a high-speed chase around Rome after the bad guys, of course. He utilizes its 430 horsepower, 4.7-liter V8 engine, and a variety of James Bond-style gadgets in the jaw-dropping scene. Flamethrowers make an appearance as well as a tiny rear rear machine gun, and even an ejector seat. All of these things are super typical of the kinds of gadgets that Bond likes in his cars, which are usually Aston Martins. The brand's cars have been used in the majority of James Bond films, to the point when you imagine James Bond, martini glass in hand and wearing a sharp tuxedo, standing next to a polished and gleaming Aston Martin. The DB10 was kept under wraps during the movie's development, as the makers of both the car and the movie wanted it to be a surprise. 10 of these rare cars were created for the movie. 8 of them were used for filming, and 2 of them were used to promote the movie at shows and promotional events. Acura NSX Roadster. We're heading next to the superhero world of the Avengers. Unlike DC's Batman, nobody in the Avengers franchise has a specific car that is as famous as the Batmobile, but that doesn't mean that the recent Marvel movies don't have their own amazing concept cars. Tony Stark, better known as Iron Man, obviously has some amazing tech at his disposal as the genius in charge of Stark Industries. A man of his status and reputation has to drive around in a car that matches it, and the movie creators really chose a good one. The Acura NSX Roadster only shows up briefly at the end of the movie, so fans don't get a long, detailed look at it, but it's obvious just by looking that it fits the super advanced technology level that Tony Stark has and with the rest of the Marvel Universe. It is actually built using a 1991 Acura model, and as amazing as it looks in the movie, it is actually quite fragile in real life. It isn't built to be roadworthy and actually driven for real, but it definitely looks the part with Iron Man behind the wheel. The real-life version Acura NSX, released in 2020, was incredibly fast, reaching top speeds of 191 miles per hour. We can guess that from the amazing level of technology that Tony Stark has at his disposal, that his version of the car can go much faster and can do some seriously awesome stuff. Aptera 2E. The Aptera 2E made its appearance in one film and then was never seen on screen again. The car was never actually built for real or driven by anyone. Yep, you heard us right. The Aptera 2E was designed and built specially for the Star Trek movie in 2009 and appeared in the movie scenes that were set in the Starfleet Academy. In the movie, it looks like it is made with CGI, but it is actually a real drivable car. It is completely electric and battery operated and goes from 0 to 60 miles per hour in a little over 6 seconds. It even reaches 90 miles per hour, which at the time, when fully electric cars were still quite early in development, was a big deal. It was slated as being the new way people would drive in real life and was the sort of promotion and inspiration that the electric car movement needed to kickstart things. The company Aptera were planning on making this futuristic-looking vehicle for real to release to the public, but a couple of years after the movie was released, the whole company actually went broke and folded, so the concept car in the movie will forever remain just that, a concept. Thank you for tuning in again today for this video. Remember to leave a like on this video down below and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of our future content. Turn on that notification bell to keep yourself up to date with all our brand new content, and we will talk to you soon.